Hello everyone, this is Massive Shop yet another massive video. I'm sorry it's been a while that I dropped video. I have many priorities that I'm focused on at the moment, and that explains my inactivity for a couple of months now. But I promise you guys I'll be back very soon. Alright, so the focus of this video, because I don't want it to exceed 10 minutes at the max, alright, is Bitcoin production cost. Right, which I started treating about. I treated about the part one, but I wanted to treat the part two. But I feel if I do a video on this, it will make more sense. All right. So, what is Bitcoin production cost? The measures minus profitability, and again, the focus is on this lower boundary, because whenever price falls below the lower boundary, it means mining is no longer profitable for Bitcoin miners, which means, or to a very large extent, it signifies bottom of the bear market, but not all the time. As you can see here, price fell below this lower boundary, and we had this up move about 60 to 70% before price later fell or crashed about 60-70% further. All right, so yeah, and the essence of this video, because I've filtered the noise to predict more accurately where the bottom is, and at the same time uh to I excuse me, I was able to bring out a particular strategy, a clear strategy, which defines an exit point, an entry point, and uh yes, entry point in terms of taking profit and in terms of stop loss. All right, so after this video you'll be able to tell for yourself it is the right place to enter or not. It's not going to be my call, it will be your call, right? Okay, so let's crack on. Before I start, I like to reiterate, nothing in this video constitutes any form of financial advice. All right. Okay, so I'm going to tell you three criteria. Essentially it's four, but I'm going to tell you three, which is enough. The fourth one will be another video, because that fourth criteria in itself, it's an indicator, it's a bottom indicator, which I've treated about, though I've not explained. It's about first major pullback, when price return to the first major pullback. However, to make the video a little bit longer, and that's why I'm going to do that in a separate video, but for this video, it's what I'm going to explain is enough for you to make your decision. Right, so let's crack on. So the first criteria is you want to see this we want to see price close below the lower boundary, which this does not fulfill. All right, this does not meet the criteria. All right, so let's move forward and see that. Maybe we'll see where. All right, so this, let me mark it out. Yeah, this fulfill the first criteria. You want to, although you can see this is an anomaly, because all of a sudden we have this lower boundary just shifted up, and the upper boundary also shifted up. I can't explain, I don't know the reason for that, but in order to not to complicate things, because we have this candle close below the lower boundary, let's just map it out like that, right? But you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Okay, so this fulfill the first criteria. The next criteria is we want to see a green day. All right, this right here is a green day, right? A clear green day. Want to mark that out as well. All right, and then you want to see the next day of the green day price trade above the high of the green day. All right, by green day I mean green candle, because this is a daily candle. So when we have this green candle, we want the next day price to trade above the high of that green candle, which this fulfills. You can see we just met or met the criteria. All right, so what the entry will now be, the entry will be, I don't know. All right, so the entry will be exactly the high of of that green day. All right, and the exit, the stop loss rather, will be the low of that candle. And to take profit, well, just whatever, at least 50%, I would say that's the take profit. We can see this failed. All right, it failed because we hit our stop before hitting any major take profit. All right, even though we are we still rallied about 2 to 1. No, but I don't want to consider that. I consider this trade a fail. All right, all right, forget about the anomaly. It's a failed trade. It failed, right? So let's move on, and we see again this. You can see, we can see this major um drop, and we have this close below the lower boundary. You can see we have this close below the lower boundary, and then so we are going to map it out again quickly, and we look for the green day, the first green day. And see, we have this green day right here, and yeah, so following the strategy, what will be our long entry? Long entry will be, yes, that, and we have our stop at the low of that green day, and our entry at the high. So you can see in the next day trade above this green candle, the first green candle. All right, which makes it a valid trade. And yes, let's see what happens then. You see, um you can see we have the 50%. We had this 50%, which was met with further rally. All right, and yet again, so that was 98%, and the risk reward was 10, which can see very profitable, right? And then again, we have another of the criteria met. So the first criteria was met here again, right? We had this um candle closes, or price closing below the lower boundary, this candle right here, right? This candle. And then we add our first green day right here, and we want to map out the high. So does the next day of that green day met does it meet the criteria? No, it doesn't. You can see clearly it doesn't meet the criteria, so we move. We never add a valid entry here. Then we look at the next green day, which is this one, and we want the next day. We want the next day. We want price in the next day to trade above the high of this candle, which happened. So that means we have add an entry here as well. All right, so that our entry is the high of the green candle, and the stop loss will be the low of that candle. So, and our first take profit will be 50%. All right, so let's see if we make our first take profit. Our first take profit was met, as you can see, right? And I just don't want to, how far we moved up, because I said possibilities ended because we are talking about bottom. All right, you can see we moved about 2000 more than 2000%. All right, so let's look out for where we have our criteria met. So we are looking for where the green candle closes below the lower boundary. All right, just trying to make this as quickly as possible. All right, here we go. We have this green candle closing below the lower boundary, and we have our first green day here. But if you look at the next day of the green candle, it never trade, price never trade above the high. So not requirement not met. So let's say at the next green candle, you can see the next green candle here, but the next day price never trade above the high. All right, so that means criteria is not met as well. You see another green candle, we see the next day price never trade above the high, so not valid as well. However, if you look at this green candle and we look at the next day, price was able to trade, or price traded above the high of the candle, so that makes it the valid one. All right, so let's map it out. All right, and then let's have our entry. So we have our entry here, we have our stop just at the low of that candle, all right, of that green day. And then we have our first take profit at 50%, which was made here. And how far did we go? How far high did we go? You can see it moved about 1000%. Its risk reward was 130. All right, isn't that awesome, right? And then so let's see we're looking for criteria again, right? Yeah, no, we didn't close below it. All right, so the criteria is not met there. However, yeah, so this is what we're looking for. We have price closing below the lower boundary, so we are going to mark that out very quickly. All right, that's it. And then look at the green day, the green candle, the first green candle. If you look at the next day, we never trade above it, we never trade above the high, so criteria was not met there. Look at this green candle as well, we never, on the next day we never trade above the high of that candle, the criteria also was not met. All right, so let's look at this. We have this closing below what's it called, below the lower boundary, so we move. This is the criteria here. The first one is met. We have this green day, right? This was the green day, and we can see the next green day, the next day of that green candle, price traded above the high of that candle, so that met our criteria, that met our requirement. So we should have longed here, and here we are. I'll stop, just below the low of the green data satisfy the requirement, and our first take profit will be 50%. And yeah, so right now this is the situation. If any of what I've explained so far makes sense to you and you feel, well, like I said, you'll be the one to make the decision. All right, here possibility is endless, as you can see previously. All right, so make your own decision, and voila. Yeah, so personally, because I was saying 26.5, so personally I want to see 26.5, but 50% is the first, should be the first take profit. But yeah, so here we go. That's it, guys. I'm sorry, the videos I could not do more than that. I could not do less than that. I'm sorry. 16 minutes. So I will stop the video now, and I'll see you next time.